everybody and welcome to Astro Tap, the place where we use astrology to tap into your destiny. So today we're going to talk about the rising sign, and the rising sign can also be called the Ascendant. So bear this in mind when you're checking out your own birth chart, and also if you hear me switching from rising sign to Ascendant in this video, because I have a tendency to do that, it means the same thing. So the rising sign is a sign that was rising on the western horizon at the moment you were born, and I specify it's the moment you were born. So to know your rising sign, you need your time of birth and your place of birth, and it's so important to get these accurate because the rising sign changes approximately every 2 hours. So when you were born and you took in that first breath, you were breathing in the qualities of that rising sign. It's your first impressions of the world. And whatever sign your rising sign falls in was the energy you felt when you first became a human being. So the rising sign is how you see the world. So it's the filter that you see the world through. It's the best way you know how to navigate your life. And as we know, life is a mirror. So the energy that you put out is the energy that you get back. So your rising sign is also the way that you appear to other people. Now, the rising sign is so important in your birth chart because the rising sign really is the door into your reality, and it's also the doors into each house in your natal birth chart. So for instance, first house, rising sign, first door, you. The way you navigate the world and the way that you appear to others. Second house, your value systems. What in life do you need to feel secure and to feel stable? Third house, your mindset, your communication, and so on and so on. But to build up this house system and understand your birth chart at a personal level, this rising sign builds up the rest of your birth chart. And because the rising sign has a lot to do with your first impressions, it has a lot to do with your first steps in life. So it can also indicate the energy around your childhood. And the rising sign can also indicate your physical appearance. So a lot of people will hold physical traits from their rising sign, and this makes it so much easier for people to guess your rising sign before they actually guess like your sun sign or your moon sign or your Venus sign, because the rising sign really guards those more intimate placements. The rising sign can also indicate the energy around your birth, so your journey down the birth canal, and the rising sign can also indicate the way that you rise every morning, so the way that you wake up. Because when you open your eyes in the morning, a new day is born. So a lot can be said about somebody's morning routine when you look at their rising sign. Now, another thing to take into consideration is the planet that rules your rising sign. So for instance, if you're an Aries rising, Mars is the planet that rules your rising sign. And whatever planet rules your rising sign is actually your whole chart ruler. So every house will have a little aspect of this Mars energy. Now, we're not really going to go into this in this video, but I will tell you each planet that rules each sign, and I will do a future video on this. Another thing to take into consideration is if you have your birth chart handy, check whether you have any planets conjunct your ascendant. Now, a conjunct means any planets 10 degrees away from your ascendant. I'll pop a chart example up here or here. And as you can see in this chart, it is my chart because I am a prime example for this, because as you can see, I have Uranus conjunct the ascendant, Neptune conjunct the ascendant, the moon conjunct the ascendant, and the north node conjunct the ascendant. Now, any planets that are conjunct the ascendant in the 12th house, you will have some past life connection to those planets and those energies. So for instance, my persona will be very Capricorn-esque, so Saturn-like, Neptune-like, and Uranian-like. So it's a bit of a mixed bag there. And any planets underneath, you will have those traits, but they will be less seen and more personal to you. Again, I will do a future video on this just to explain this a bit better, but it is something to check out. And if you do find that you have any planets conjunct your ascendant, check the sign that goes with each planet, and you can also watch the video for that sign as well. So in this video, I will go through your general traits, your physical appearance regarding your rising sign, your journey down the birth canal. I will try and predict that. Maybe you want to chat to your mum or something to find out the deets, and how you rise and shine each morning. But first, I will be showing you a few celebrities which share your rising sign, just so that you have some examples. And I've chosen reality TV stars because the rising sign is that first sign that people are going to see when they meet you. And as mentioned, you are hiding your more intimate chart placements behind that rising sign. So when you're a reality TV star, you are probably going to show the traits of your rising sign before you get to the nitty gritty, like the moon sign. So you may see someone's moon sign if they get triggered, but day to day when they've got a camera in their face, you're gonna see their rising sign. Hello Capricorn rising and Capricorn ascendants. Let's have a look at which reality TV stars share your rising sign. So we have Vicky Patterson from Geordie Shore, Jamie Lang from Made in Chelsea, and the extremely successful and iconic Kylie Jenner from Keeping Up with the Kardashians. So Capricorn risings, your rising sign is an earth sign, so you're all about that material stability. So Saturn rules Capricorn, and that means that Saturn rules your rising sign, and also your whole birth chart will have that Saturnian kind of flavour to it. So you will take life very seriously. Everything requires hard work to get to the top. You want to master every aspect of your life. Also, you are a cardinal rising sign, so you don't mind burning things to the ground and starting something new. You have that strength to start new things, you have those balls, and you have that energy where you want to build something. And if something's not working out, you're not afraid to let that go and start something new. I feel like Capricorn risings in their younger years can feel a bit lost. Capricorn rising children tend to have had a lot of pressure put upon them as a child. They may have been required to be more independent than most children. It doesn't necessarily have to be neglect. It could be that your parents were busy working themselves and you had to take care of yourself. So the best way I can explain this is a child that isn't urged to do any extra curriculum activities. Like some children, their parents have decided their life for them. Where Capricorn risings, your parents kind of left you to it. So you may have not had the navigation that other children had. So when you get to your teens, you feel a bit lost and a bit purposeless. And some other signs can deal with that purposelessness because they'll just go out and they'll party and they'll have fun and they'll find themselves within relationships. But Capricorn risings don't tend to have that ability. They feel lost, they feel like they have no purpose, and they have to really experiment with themselves to find where their purpose in life is. You may dabble with drink, drugs, party lifestyle, and be like, wait a minute, I'm not like my friends. I don't really get any satisfaction from doing these things. I don't get anything from that other than a massive headache in the morning. And then when you reach your 20s, and sometimes even later, because Saturn is a late developer, so you may actually find yourself later in life, like your 30s, so you may be a bit delayed from your other friends, but there's nothing wrong with that, because when you find yourself, when you find that purpose, ain't no one gonna stop Capricorn rising, because you have the stamina and the determination to jump every hurdle. You've built so much strength in your childhood that you take that into your adult life. Saturn's influence on your rising sign restricts you. So Saturn wants you to earn your status, wants you to earn your power and earn your abundance. And this is massive because it feels really difficult at the time for Capricorn risings. But when you overcome all of these hurdles that Saturn puts in your way, your toolbox and your skill set is vast. When someone who doesn't have this rising sign reaches fame and notoriety, they can lose themselves and they can get knocked off the top for many, many different reasons. Sometimes the fact that they can't handle the quick rise to fame, abundance, notoriety. Now, because Capricorn took the slow road, like the tortoise and the hare kind of shit, when they reach the top, nothing's going to knock them over. Self-made energy, new money energy. It's weird because like Capricorn risings are new money because they're self-made, but they act as though they're old money, if you get what I mean. Like they have that humbleness when it comes to their abundance that they achieve in life. And they do great in high positions, like CEO positions, because they had to be so dependent on themselves at a young age. They're also dependable. So everyone will look at Capricorn rising like they're dependable. I can imagine even when you were a child and you were lost, you may have been a very dependable friend. People may have come to you to stabilize them. I am a Capricorn rising, and I've been very unstable in my early life, and all my friends at the time thought I was the stable friend. So they'd come to me for advice and I'd be like, you asking me? But I didn't realize how much I hid the chaos and how much I stabilized the chaos when I was young. So Capricorn risings are seen as dependable, they're seen as strong, and you really take life seriously, and people see that. And you taking everything seriously is protective for them. You may be somebody who's very disciplined in life. So you may be someone who has a very disciplined exercise routine, very disciplined diet. You may have a limit when you go out, when you drink. That person who is like, I know when I've drank enough. Like, you won't find Capricorn rising on the floor drunk, throwing up on themselves. They have that aspect of discipline, and they put that into every single aspect of their life. And people may look at Capricorn rising and think, oh, that doesn't look like a very enjoyable lifestyle, but Capricorn thrives off that discipline. Being able to have control of yourself, body, mind, and soul is so powerful, and people pick up on this power. People can sense the power of Capricorn rising. They can sense the standing power, the discipline, the control. And with Capricorn rising, if it don't make money, it don't make sense. But that's the same when they're investing in love. They're not the time to F about, because if you come at a Capricorn rising wanting a booty call, they're not going to be interested. They want to get in relationships where they're making a strong investment. So they do tend to have this energy where they may come across as a gold digger. It's not gold diggerness. Gold diggerness. It's not being a gold digger as such. It's more understanding that they are so valuable and they are so precious. They know how much they're worth, they know their value, and they need to meet a partner who can either match that or trump that. Capricorn rising will analyze things, and if they're not doing so well in life, they need a partner who can pick up the pieces. Capricorn has that big goal in mind. They want to reach that status. So they're going to place everything in their life, their friendships, their relationships. They want everyone as backups. So if they fall, they need someone strong and powerful to pick them back up so that they're going to reach that goal. These people can grow up feeling so insecure, so lost. Yet when they move forward in life, they tend to understand themselves more, find their self-worth, and are very solid in the knowing of who they are. Capricorn rising likes rules and they like tradition, and because they stick to these rules and these traditions, they're very disciplined to get what they want out of life. Capricorn risings do have the tendency to be known as being very cold and calculated. I do call this the psychopath placement. Now, I use that phrase loosely because I do understand that a psychopath is somebody with a mental disorder, but Capricorns tend to have that coldness to them. They are very calculated, and they do have the ability to detach their emotions from situations and even detach their emotions from themselves. You've got Capricorn, then you've got their status. And sometimes they can detach themselves from this status, and the status stands there alone, unempathic, and can make some very harsh, ruthless decisions. You gotta be ruthless to get where you want in life. Yet, the real part of the Capricorn, the behind the scenes Capricorn, can fall apart. Capricorn risings will never publicly fall apart. They will always detach their status from their real selves, and they will fall apart behind the scenes. There was this amazing meme. It was a Bratz doll and her makeup was all down her face and her hair was all a mess, and it just said Capricorn when no one's looking. That is so legit. You're that person where everyone thinks she or he has got all of their shit together. But Capricorns are human. You don't see that human side, but they're human, and they usually choose one particular person in life just to let themselves go with. That one person that they can break down in front of and be like, everything's not okay. And then once they've got that out of their system, they go to work the next day, cool, calm, calculated, ruthless, and they're just like, right, I've got everything together for another month, and I'll just pencil in my next breakdown for February the 15th, 2025. Great, can't wait for that. So the Capricorn rising's appearance. So Capricorn rules the bones and the structure of the body, so the foundations of the body. You see, Capricorn risings, you are holding all of the zodiac signs together. You are the structure of the zodiac wheel. You are known to have very strong bone structure, beautiful, elegant bone structure, high cheekbones, and also prominent teeth. Like, I actually wasn't aware about this teeth thing, and I can't remember whose video I watched, but somebody said that Capricorns tend to have very noticeable teeth. As mentioned, I'm a Capricorn rising, and at the time when I was listening to the video, I was like, I don't think I resonate with that. But then watching myself back on video when I'm editing myself, I'm like, yeah, my teeth do stand out a bit. They tend to have nice, big, shiny teeth. So I thought, yeah, I'll take that. But also, Capricorn risings tend to have the Benjamin Button syndrome. So if you're not aware of what that is, it's reverse aging. Because Capricorn risings do have a more tricky start to life, they tend to have a lot of stress as a child put upon them. They do tend to look older than they are when they're younger. But then as they get older and the weight lifts off their shoulders because they gain more success and status and more control of their lives, they do tend to look younger when they're older. So they age really well, and they are known as the rising sign that looks the youngest when they're older. But alongside this elegant, structured beauty, they have a very mean girl vibe. So they're very intimidating. And it could be the sharpness of their bone structure that makes them quite sharp to look at. My grandma was also a Capricorn, and she had very sharp bone structure. Megan Fox is a Capricorn rising, and Megan Fox looks intimidating. She has that very sharp bone structure, those very piercing eyes. But again, that's what makes Capricorn risings great CEOs, because no one messes with Capricorn rising. You just look at them and you know that person does not want any BS today. I'm just going to go and give someone else my BS. And, another thing about Capricorn rising, they tend to have a very stern look about them. So they can say 1,000 words without saying any words. So if you come to the boss's office and you say, I need Tuesday off, Capricorn rising will just look at you like this. And you know that means you're not having Tuesday off. So the birth of Capricorn rising and your trip down the birth canal. So I can imagine, because of the Saturnian influence on your birth chart, Saturn is restrictions and Saturn is delays. So you may have been a late baby, so you were past your due date. You may have even been induced, and Capricorn rising would not have liked to have been induced. Capricorn rising does not want to be forced out of the womb, okay? Because of the restriction element of it as well, you actually may have had some trouble coming down the birth canal. It might be worth asking your mom whether she had to change positions a lot whilst giving birth, because you may have struggled to push yourself through for some reason. Maybe your mom has a very small birth canal, who knows? Or if you could have actually been the first baby out of all of your siblings, so it was the first time that your mom was pushing someone down the birth canal. Also, it could have been a very slow birth because of this, because of the restriction of the birth canal. Slow labour, maybe even slow and painful, maybe even a emergency C-section because of this restricted birth canal. I keep going on about the restricted birth canal. Ask your mom, and if she confirms that this is correct, comment down below. So the way that Capricorn rising likes to rise and shine each morning. So you've got to get up and get to it kind of attitude. You need a routine. You thrive off a routine, and you don't like to have that routine interrupted because time is money. You like to fit in as much in as little time as possible. So if anyone gets in the way of your routine, it will extend your morning routine. You will be late to work and you won't get that promotion that you so badly want and need. Plus, the things that get you out of bed every morning is having daily goals. But it's really important to not be too hard on yourself if you don't achieve those goals. You are a massive go-getter, and if these goals aren't achieved, you may struggle to go to sleep at night. You may lay awake worrying, but it is really important to know that you have tomorrow to complete that project. Now, Capricorn risings do tend to need about 8 hours sleep average a night, but you don't always get that because of your 24 hours in a day is never enough kind of attitude. But you do tend to have the tendency to work super hard, exhaust yourself, have very little sleep, then you will crash. So you might actually get ill and you will have to spend 3 days in bed knocked out. Or you'll just crash and sleep loads for a couple of days, and then you will get back to work, have very little sleep, work super hard, put a lot of pressure on yourself, and you'll go round in a circle like that. So that is your rising sign, and I hope you found this video to be interesting and informative. If you resonate, please comment down below and drop me a like if you like this video. If you want to see more content like this, please subscribe, because I would love to see more of you, and I shall see you next time. Bye!